Hey guys, welcome back. Bringing y'all another update of day 7, Cardi B versus the blogger lady. Well, Tasha took the stand this morning, and once again, she and her team tried bamboozling the jury, taking up their time with hours of boring audio of a conversation she had with Lovely T back then. Lovely T is another huge YouTube creator for those catching up. But anywho, Lovely T didn't even know she was being recorded at the time and thought she was chatting with a friend. At one point in the audio, it said that Lovely T was crying, feeling bad for whatever it was that Tasha was going through. Again, thinking she was talking to a friend. But I'll let Dennis tell it.
I'm giving a brief update as to what occurred this morning in the continuation trial of Cardi B versus Tasha K. Today, the defendant, Tasha K, has finally got on the stand. Yesterday, we had a delay because of the evidence that the defendant wanted to present to the jury. So they had to sort through the evidence and isolate the type of evidence that they want to get into the jury, which at least that's what we thought. So today, the jury had to listen to the entire video, the entire audio, if you guys remember, of Lovely T and Tasha K talking on the phone. Now, this is a very long video, and I would have assumed, based on the way the plaintiff's case went, that they would have isolated parts of the video that had some relevance to the evidence that they're going to put forth. That didn't happen. The jury had to sit there and listen to the entire conversation between Lovely T and Tasha K. Now, here's the problem with that. Lovely T didn't know that Tasha K was recording her, and Tasha K was controlling the conversation. She was asking the questions that she wanted to get a response out of, but Lovely T didn't answer. Lovely T didn't know that she was being recorded, which poses a problem for the defendant, because the jury has to listen to this, and then they're going to have to take the weight of this call based on what Lovely T actually knew was happening. We do know only one person knew that call was happening, and the person that knew the call was happening was Tasha K, because she's the one that recorded the call. So just put yourself in this mindset. If you're talking to a friend, quote unquote, and you find out days later that that friend that you had a conversation with was recording the entire conversation, you have to ask yourself a question. What was the motivation behind that friend recording the call? And then if they're recording the call, then they've already had in their mind how they wanted that call to go. Then they released the call that the friend didn't know that she was being recorded, and she was pretty much being honest in her, and we talk about Lovely T when Lovely T was responding. She was being very honest in how she felt about the situation. But here's something that was interesting that happened, and I had listened to the entire call myself. But during the call, Tasha K kept on saying, well, we knew this was happening. She kept on implying that we, meaning her and Lovely T, knew this was happening. And I don't know what Lovely T felt at the time, but she kept injecting the word we. We are two black women trying to pretty much do our thing, and we knew this was happening. So the jury's listening to this. It looked like it was a setup call. If you listen to the call, and those who have had access to the call, it appeared the call was a setup call. And when she kept on implying we, that poses a problem. If she would have said, well, I knew that this situation was happening, but she tried to pull, reel in Lovely T and make her a part of whatever plot she had to be able to bolster the call. And I think that may read different. And the other problem I think that the defense is going to have is the jury sitting through listening to all this vile, vulgar language for a whole hour and almost a half. They listened to all this. Now, they're probably wondering, why the hell are we listening to all this? When Cardi B's attorneys were putting on their case in chief, they isolated the parts of videos, time codes, what they wanted the jury to hear. You don't want to bore a jury with a bunch of stuff, and they have to go back to the delivery room, and they're going to, again, probably think that, why do we even listen to that entire call? What was the takeaway? And when they explained the foundation and the way that call started, it was a call that was potentially orchestrated by the person who initiated the call. So that may pose a problem. And it boggles the mind that an attorneys or her attorneys would even allow that type of waste of time for this jury. So I want to read something that I pulled out from the call that the jury heard. So here's what's interesting. This call was about Star Marie Jones, and it was about someone else talking about what another blogger, I want to say it was Storm, that was talking about the Star Marie video. It really had nothing to do with Cardi B, in the sense that the call wasn't about Cardi B per se. It was about Tasha K trying to refute some of the things that was said by this other blogger. I think his name is Storm. So she says the defense played in the audio where Lovely T and Tasha K was talking. She stated that her and Lovely T had a right to believe Star Marie. Listen to that. She said her and Lovely T, again, she's including Lovely T in her thought process, instead of saying, I, Tasha K, had the right to believe the video, the interview that I did with Star Marie was, this is my opinion, but she kept on including Lovely T to make her a co-conspirator of sorts for this call, which it came across really, really awkward. And then when you listen to the whole audio in its totality, it doesn't help a case. It really doesn't help a case. And I'm gonna tell you what else I noticed with the jury. When they were playing this, remember when the plaintiff was putting on a case in chief, they were taking very detailed notes. I saw some of the, maybe they were resting in their eyes, but they appeared to be kind of bored. And that's never good if they feel that they have something that they can sink their teeth into. So it was very odd that the defense took the chance by playing the entire video. And I would just, again, hope that they have some kind of strategy for this. But as it stands now, I do not believe that this had some real value for the defense's case. And I would just say that tomorrow there will be a charge to the jury, because the judge wants this case to be over with based on the way things are moving. So we'll go to the jury tomorrow. Now, where the verdict comes out, it may be tomorrow. They may come back with a relatively quick verdict. Because the defense, we have about another couple of hours for testimony, so they're going to have to put their case on. And you have to remember the length of time that Cardi and her witnesses were on the stand, and it was almost like it was seamless presentation of a case. This, on the other hand, I don't get that energy. So we have to just watch the outcome. And then again, what I tell people is the transcripts will be available at the conclusion, one way or the other. So then you can actually measure the weight of the reporting with the transcripts. Only thing you can't get out of transcripts is the color of the court, meaning the demeanor of different people. But I would tell you that it feels very awkward. And lastly, now the jury shouldn't have heard this. This is something very interesting. Lovely T said, and she didn't know, Lovely T did not know she was being recorded. She says in the audio, she says, in the audio, she says, Tasha K would do anything for success. And she said, as a matter of fact. So when she said that, she didn't know that Tasha K was recording her. So this is really interesting. How will the jury view this audio? because there was things that Lovely T said that didn't help Tasha K's case. There were some things where Lovely T was talking because she believed that she was talking to a friend. She believed that there were some genuine things there. And if anyone remembers, in the call with Lovely T and Tasha K, Lovely T actually cried in there because she felt that her friend was being attacked. Meanwhile, her friend was recording her to go on an attack at some point. That's how you have to view that. Lovely T genuinely was crying in this recording. However, what she didn't know was her friend was recording her. And the weight of that can be significant for this jury. And I agree, it was very manipulative.
Man, this is just getting more and more interesting to me. Like I said in my last video, she and her botched attorney Olga is making a mockery of the courts. It didn't work with Nicki Minaj or Azalea Banks. Now she's dragging Lovely T into her fuckery. And speaking of which, what's your thoughts on that messiness? Recording her friend, quote unquote, unknowingly? That's just a hot damn mess. I feel like Tasha should just cut her losses. Hell, she knew months ago that she didn't stand a chance in hell. So what's all of this for? I just don't understand. She wrote a whole review months ago. Like, I don't get it. She wrote this review to Olga's Learn, on the website of Olga's law firm. So I'm not following the concept here of what she's going for. I guess she's gonna ride this until the wheels fall off. But again, at what damn cost? I can't stress that enough. I can't. What do y'all think? Hell, Tasha probably feels the hell with it. She in it now, so keep riding with the bullshit attorney. I don't know. If I was in her shoes, I would have just bowed out gracefully, waving a white flag, because I'm sure by now she got to be overwhelmed. It's got to be overwhelming for the blogger lady with the trial and the Storm Monroe, drama that they got going on in these YouTube streets. But that's a whole nother video for a whole nother time. Okay. But I wanted to, bring you guys the update, and shout out to Dennis Bryan again, who's been diligently keeping us, the people, posted on the trial. But with that being said, guys, thank you for watching.